The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library.
This session requires group participation. So we're going to be doing some things together. So the first thing we're going to be doing is actually an interactive game. And then after that, we've also got some questions that we'll be talking through. I don't know if we're going to get to everything in the PowerPoint. That's fine. But I want this to be useful, and so we'll need participation from you guys in order to make this as useful as it can be for you guys, okay? So.
Before we do that, we will save time to answer all the questions that
I think we're going to email those out, actually.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So, because not everybody is here. But so we got answers to the questions that you guys had put on your surveys that you still didn't get answers to. We sent those over to Logan Gilbert, one of the attorneys that was here at the first session. He gave us answers to all of those questions, and we're going to email those out to everybody. So we'll make sure that you get those answers. His cards are actually in the back as well, so if you do need to call him and contact him about any issues, if you still have questions about topics we covered in this series, he said that you can give him a call. Just let him know you're from the Landlord Education Series, and he'll be more than happy to talk with you. All right, so the very first thing that we're going to do, it's called Spent. So this is an interactive game that I am going to pull up. So the whole point of this game is to kind of give you an idea. I guess it's not really a game. It's more of like an experience to see kind of what people go through that leads them to situations where maybe they get behind on rent. This is giving you a taste of making those choices that your tenants make that lead them to those life situations. It'll make sense when we get into it. But each situation is going to come with a decision. And we're going to have to vote on as a group what we want to do. And we'll see if we are successful or not. All right. Oh, there's music. Pretty good. See.
The first job option is working at a warehouse, second shift. They're looking for dependable, punctual, and hardworking warehouse associates. Must be able to lift 20 pounds and have reliable transportation. It's $14 an hour, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Restaurant. Experienced server needed at casual restaurant with a fast-paced and fun atmosphere. Apply in person Tuesdays through Friday, 2 to 5 p.m., $2.13 an hour plus tips. Admin, you're an office temp. Know your way around an office. We are hiring for temporary workers all over the area. Admin experience and attention to detail a must. $15 an hour, and hours vary. So, which job are we going to take?
Second shift. Does everyone agree with that, or would anybody else do a different option?
Do we have kids? Do we have kids?
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
I don't have admin experience, and the waitress salary is not enough for 3 hours for however long you might get tips. That's what I mean. So no admin experience and no.
I personally would go after both the office temp and the server job because you could probably work them both at the same time.
But for this situation, you get to pick one.
The warehouse could potentially have benefits.
It could?
You're not going to get them as a server or as a temp.
Okay. Warehouse?
Everybody in agreement?
Okay.
Cash.
All right.
Stay healthy. All that lifting and repetitive packing can be brutal on your body. $1,440 is monthly pay before taxes. Take your taxes out. You bring home $1,224. Weekly pay is $306.
So keep this in mind, this is kind of the number we're gonna be working with as we go forward with the activity.
And the 1,000 in the corner is what you've had going into this. The Affordable Care Act requires you get health insurance. The good news, your child is covered by the state. The bad, you aren't. Which plan do you want?
So that answers your question. We apparently have a child.
If I'd have known that, I probably would have made a different decision, because then you have healthcare, or not healthcare, but childcare.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Gold plan, $462 a month, $10 copay. Silver plan, $437 a month, $75 copay. Or bronze plan, $303 a month, $80 copay.
And as someone myself that uses government health insurance, I can tell you these are real prices.
Yes, they are.
These are very real prices for health insurance.
Well, when I was born, didn't have any money, I just didn't have insurance for myself, so that would actually be my only choice, is not to have health insurance. If you can't afford it, you just don't do it.
And I
The
think,
cheapest one.
yeah, and I think honestly, that's probably a more real choice
Yes.
that a lot of people in these type of situations face. is
And you
no
get
insurance.
fined at tax time from the IRS, but it's like a $75 fine. And I'm definitely gonna pay the fine than $300
They're saying not anymore.
Not anymore. I've had health insurance a couple years, so, sorry. I used to get fined
Without health
$75.
insurance right now.
Okay.
All right, so would everyone agree the cheapest plan, or would anyone do something different? Cheapest?
Okay,
Okay,
cheapest.
Go with the cheapest. Bronze plan.
Result, even the most basic plan under the Affordable Care Act covers more than what you could have gotten before, but at almost $76 each paycheck, it's no free ride. Now we gotta find a place to live. The rent is $725, plus $83 travel cost. I would imagine that's to your job of that. So,
So this is what our goal is, to figure how close do we want to be to work versus how far away to work. And it's gonna change depending on how far away we are, what our travel costs are, and what our rent is. So we have to figure out whether we want to live close to work or further away from work.
close.
Slide the scale.
You wanna see it? Okay. So if we live closer to work.
Oh, closer to work's higher rent.
Mhm.
Back it up just a little bit. Right there, that's not that much higher.
So let's move it and see what the cheapest is.
The cheapest?
Oh,
This is the cheapest.
but the travel cost goes up, but total is still only $760. But do we want to spend an hour driving to, an hour driving from work?
Not when you're working second shift.
Yep, 12 to 7, so that's really 11 to 8.
What do we think? How close? I'm gonna move it and yell when I should stop.
I would stop, at like $625 for rent, because they don't have enough money.
Like,
So they
Two
would rather
favorite.
spend more time traveling.
625 is like here.
Yeah,
Does everybody agree? Cheaper rent, more travel cost?
yeah. You might be able to control your travel costs by sharing rides or something like that. Yeah.
Good point.
Anyone wanna argue the other side?
I'd go closer too, because you could just as easily walk or bike and cut out that travel cost.
For this demonstration, though, they're not gonna let us.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, like the closer you are, the
Real life.
lower the travel cost is. It's probably because you can like bus and things like that. They're a little bit more closer to.
Mhm.
You might pay a little bit more in rent for your being closer to work, but
I agree, but what was it, $1,200 a month is your income from your job?
Mm-hmm.
And if your rent is
If you're
800,
it's like
closer to your
800.
job, that's gonna kill me. I might be able to be flexible in gas and getting rides to work and et cetera, but 800 a month's gonna kick my booty.
Yeah.
Right,
Insurance through this crooked thing.
yes.
I used to pay a whole lot less before the free market, before the market. I paid a lot less and had a lot lower deductibles. It was less than half of what it is now.
Okay, so raise hands for closer to the job and raise hands to closer to home.
Well, start with raise hands for closer.
I had it in my head. Okay.
Okay, raise your hand if you think we should move closer to our work.
Okay, other side wins.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we good with where we're at, or do we want to move even a little closer? We're good with that? Okay.
Miles, what does it do?
I don't know the exact.
Oh, it doesn't tell you the exact.
No, it doesn't tell me the exact mileage. I guess that's probably like right here, though. It's like $15 difference. Are we good with this then? Go a little closer?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Paying $7.85 a month.
Result, you chose to live further away from your job, so your rent is lower, but your gas costs are higher. In fact, for every dollar a working family saves on housing, they spend an additional 77 cents on transportation. Your new apartment is too small for your stuff. What do you want to do? Rent a storage unit for $45 a month, have a yard sale, or ask a friend to store it? And we're not even going to do ask a friend to store it because then they're going to make us go on Facebook and Twitter, and we don't want to do that. So our options are rent a storage unit and have a yard sale.
Yard sale.
Yard sale.
Overwhelming.
That was unanimous. Result, you sold a bunch of stuff but only made $150.
I would be happy
Yeah.
with $150.
A family friend sends your child a card inside is $10. What do you want to do? Give your child the $10? Keep the $10. Right.
All right, raise your hand if you would keep it. Oh, we got a bunch.
I like all of
We
it.
got a bunch of. I'd probably keep it.
She doesn't have kids yet.
I don't. Can you tell? All right, we'll give the child the $10.
Your mom needs crucial medication but doesn't have the $100 she needs to buy it. What do you want to do? Give it to her, or say no.
Keep in mind, this is your current balance right now. You don't know that.
Oh.
You don't know that.
It does.
Yeah. So, hands for give her the $100 for her medication. That's 10. Okay.
Are we giving it?
Giving it to her.
All right, we're giving her the $100.
Your coat is in tatters. A neighbor notices and stops by to offer you their hand-me-down coat. What do you want to do? Take the coat or turn it down?
Take the coat.
The coat. The local community college is offering an online course in computer science, which could be your ticket to higher paycheck. But the class costs $200. What do you want to do? Sign up and pay the $200, or maybe next semester? You guys are answering it exactly
Yeah.
how I did it.
All right, this is the challenging one. So we have to figure out what we want to buy for groceries. So these are all of the different grocery options, which if you aren't sure what one of the images are, I can roll over it so you can see.
But remember, you have a child at home, and you work 12 to 7.
So we have to buy enough to last a few weeks. Yes. Should we go
So
one by one?
apples, beans, spaghetti, carrots, cereal. Apples?
Yep, you get apples.
Let's start at the top.
Yeah, let's just go one by one. So,
One bag?
okay. Beans,
Can.
how many? They're $1 each.
A few weeks.
2 cans of beans.
And we can go back and take some off if we get there and we're like, oh, crud.
All right, ramen noodles.
Yes.
Yeah, how many packs of that do we want? Cause
Like, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna get like,
so 4 packs of 4?
oh. I went to 7. They're only $1. I'd buy 10 of these.
Well, there's 4 packs in each, so you're gonna be eating nothing but ramen noodles.
That's
It's
fine,
only a
they're
few-
$1.
But I'm saying you could use 3 of those dollars to buy something else.
Okay, do you want me to clear it?
Yes, I want you to go down a little. There's 4 packs in each one.
I don't know how to fix it. I have to clear it. We'll fix it. Okay, how many am I doing? 4?
We do it 4, 6, you guys tell. I just don't want to.
I'm fine if it's just one kid
Yeah, but she's gonna eat some too, or he.
Yeah, but there's other stuff you can make meals and stuff.
But this is cheap, girl.
And
It's 4 packs for $1.
pasta down there is cheap too.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with 2, and if we want to revisit the ramen noodles, we'll
Yeah.
revisit the ramen noodles.
Still got other stuff.
All right, baby carrots.
Carrots,
Yay, nay.
$3 a bag.
Nah, I'm hearing nes. Cereal, $4.
No.
Oh, I'm hearing yes and no.
Yeah. Extra cheaper, it's a protein, that's a carb.
Let's see.
Cereals don't have any.
Okay, skip the cereal.
Okay. Cheese,
Yeah.
1 cheese.
I'm a
Okay.
cheese household, so especially if you're fixing a lot of eggs.
Bag of chicken, or 3-pound bag of chicken for $7.
That is a lie.
Fish sticks. Oh, that's what that is. It looks like a campfire.
How many fish sticks do we get?
I don't know.
Like fish sticks. Yeah.
I don't know, it looks about 4.
Say 4, yep.
Oh, no, not for that.
No fish sticks.
Not for $3, that's
A
expensive.
drink mix. So this is like, I'm guessing this is like Kool-Aid. No Kool-Aid. Eggs for $2. How many?
2.
Hot dogs. Okay.
I agree.
Milk. 2 gallons.
I say 1 gallon, you ain't got no cereal.
I'll say those.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
And I don't know how to I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to clear it without clearing all of it, so maybe
We
I
don't
shouldn't be
wanna-
as trigger happy.
Too bad we got 2.
Orange juice, $5 a gallon. Peanut butter.
Yes.
Okay. Paper towels. Okay.
Luxury.
Spaghetti. Yes.
Spaghetti for $3, you can get a whole box.
Yeah, no. So-
Fancy spaghetti.
What is it, like, what are they, they make it out of anything now. I've done that before. I've done that. Okay, bread. Okay. How many loaves? 1, 2.
2, well, you've got the hot dogs.
Oh, true. And in the peanut butter. We'll do 2.
But how long does bread go before it expires?
You can put it in the freezer.
If it's in the fridge, it'll last forever.
Freezer,
Yeah,
fridge.
seal it in something.
I throw my bread in the freezer.
You can seal it in the bag, it
Frostbite.
stays fine.
You just toast it.
Thaw out before you-
Any tomatoes
Man.
or tomatoes, depending on how you say it.
Okay.
Spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
We didn't get the
Well, how
spaghetti,
much are
so-
the tomatoes again?
But we've got the ramen.
3.
See, that's just, your prices are crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't make these prices.
They don't.
You're running the system, we know you did.
Are we skipping spaghetti sauce or no?
Yeah, no, we gotta have some spaghetti. sauce.
1,
We gotta put on the
Yeah,
noodles.
because of
Okay.
Oh,
like,
we buy you noodles.
and then toilet paper.
yes.
Yes.
How many?
2.
It doesn't say how many's in
It
the
doesn't.
bag.
Look at that, $50 though. We're right at $50. Are we
That's
good?
not bad for a few
I
weeks.
think you need, but we're not done yet. We haven't done
Okay, is there anything, yes, is there anything you think we should add? Do we want to
Well,
revisit the
you
ramen?
can make the four-man, pizzas. You've got bread, you've got pasta sauce, and you've got cheese.
Oh,
There's another
that's true.
Breakfast every morning with eggs and stuff, if not, you gotta throw cereal on there for the kids.
Yeah, 'cause
I
it's
agree with the cereal
like
thing.
eggs every single morning.
Because I cannot handle eggs every day for weeks.
I hate eggs, fun
And
fact.
if it's a teenager, that'd be.
But I would
a
eat them if they were
box a
given me.
day.
Yeah.
My boyfriend is not here in the building, but he is here somewhere, and he would tell you that I probably go through a box of cereal a day.
Jiminy Christmas, woman.
It's really bad. I eat it for dessert, I eat it for breakfast, I will eat cereal like it's my job. I
Okay,
love
how
it.
about a box of cereal?
I am Gen Z. Thank you.
I do want to point out that the only fruit or vegetable we've got, right, is the apples.
Mhm.
Yep,
And
maybe
beans.
add in
Beans.
some carrots, and probably add in some spaghetti.
Yeah, maybe tell
Okay.
them carrots.
Carrots.
And
I
spaghetti.
mean, you don't wanna starve.
Spaghetti?
people to death.
Okay, now we're at 60.
Bucks.
You good with that?
Good?
All right. Paying $60.
Each year, almost 15% of American households had a hard time getting enough to eat at some point.
Payday.
Woohoo! Your child's sneakers are falling apart and it's time to buy new ones. Name brands are important, but they don't come cheap. What do you want to do? buy the name brand for $100 or go to the thrift store for $10. Two bills are due today. What do you want to do? Pay cell phone bill of $75, car insurance of $100, pay them both for $175. Pay them both,
You got the money right now.
especially when you're driving that far for your job.
There are questions in this that weren't in this one. We did this.
Or this one.
Yeah.
Your grandfather has passed away. The memorial service is being held several states away. What do you want to do? Fly out for the service, $350. Drive to the service, $75. Skip the memorial.
Do we have a job that we can be off of work?
That's what I was gonna say. Keep in mind that you'll probably have to miss work for it.
But this is the meet 'em in the middle, assuming that you're close and that your job would let you off, you drive. There's no way you're flying.
Okay. Who votes for drive?
Anybody vote for miss?
I think that might be the majority.
Yep.
Oh, we're
Majority,
skipping the
skipping it.
memorial.
I know, that's awful, but you got, what do we, 420, $75, that's gonna make or break your.
And rent's gonna be due soon.
Yeah.
And most of us know who have children or grandchildren, we would never want them to be put in a position to something for us. Okay, it's easier to look for extra ways to make money if you have access to the web, but you don't have internet at home since you moved. What do you want to do? Sign up for home internet, $60 a month. Get online at the public library. Go without internet. Library. Okay.
If you pay $75 for a cell phone, shouldn't you have internet service with that? Yeah, this game is.
You could, but now you
Not
can't.
necessarily.
Yeah.
That you do most stuff on your phone and.
Yeah.
If you had two in a pinch, you could do just one.
True. It also depends on if they have, if they have unlimited data, if they have a certain amount of data, how good the service is at their house.
And if you're making money at home,
Lots
it's
of
probably
factors.
not on your phone doing the work.
And
Yeah.
if you have your phone, you can use Wi-Fi, you can go to Starbucks and use Wi-Fi for free, or
Yep.
McDonald's and Wi-Fi for free.
Yep.
Result, for you and millions of other Americans, public library internet access is a critical resource. Over 31% of people living below the poverty line visit the public library to get online. I know I did years ago.
Can confirm.
On the way to drop off your kid at school, something blew in your car. You don't know what's wrong, but it can't be good. What do you want to do? Pay to fix it for $300, get it towed for $50, leave it and take the bus for $5. And your job's 40 miles away.
If we're on the 14th, we get paid on the 17th.
We're just leaving our car though, taking the bus. Yeah, I'd probably just pay to fix it, would be my best thought. Just have to give it somewhere else.
Anybody else pay to fix it?
That's one of the
You do that,
social
that's the
options.
Twitter.
Yeah.
So, pay to fix it, yes. I agree, because your job's 40 miles away, at some point you're gonna have to pay it. And if you pay to get it towed, then you're just paying to get it towed and you're not fixing it. And then if you take the bus and leave your car, you're
Do we
taking a
have
chance
car
on it.
insurance?
Yes.
Yeah, we just paid.
But
So.
it might be the junkiest car insurance there is.
And I think, for those of you that are landlords, I'm wondering too how often you've heard, I can't pay rent this month because I had to fix my car.
A lot.
Yep. I was gonna say, that's probably a pretty common thing, that they're gonna choose their car over other resources because it's how they get places, it's how they make the money to pay those things.
Your income level qualifies you for food stamps. What do you want to do? Apply or go hungry? Apply. Result, the good news is that you're approved for benefits. The bad news, they don't begin until next month.
Did you say that's okay because we've got peanut butter? Yep.
Your tooth has been hurting for weeks and it's starting to get unbearable. You need a root canal, but you don't have dental insurance. What do you want to do? Get it fixed for $400, use some numbing gel. Numbing gel.
You don't have 400.
Result, 1 in 2 Americans doesn't have dental insurance, and without coverage, putting off basic care could mean emergency surgery that's twice as expensive. Ooh. Heyday. You've been working for several hours and you're starving, but you forgot your lunch. What do you want to do? Buy a salad for $6, buy a burger from the dollar menu.
Burger from Dollar
Dollar
Menu.
menu?
Dollar menu?
I like a burger from the dollar menu more than a salad.
Healthy food is expensive and not always easy to access, which is why poverty can dramatically increase your risk for hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and other health problems. Your child has been identified as gifted and invited into the school's gifted program. The materials for the course cost $50. What do you want to do? Pay the money, apply for a scholarship, decline the opportunity?
Applying for a scholarship.
That seems like a silly question because it's obvious.
So apply for scholarship?
However, it has to mean that you're willing to forego any pride and ask for assistance.
Good
We still
point.
get to the library to apply because we don't got the internet.
Good
Uh,
point.
And
Not
so that's
everybody
taking
wants
extra
to
time.
acknowledge that they can't afford things.
And that's why too, I think they ask the questions about food stamps and different things like that, because they're trying, I think this is trying to show that there is sometimes a stigma, well, not sometimes, there is a stigma with poverty, and that it can sometimes be, it can come with an amount of shame in having to ask for help and ask for assistance.
I bet you the first 15 years of my kid's life, I qualified for assistance and I refused to apply for it because I had the kids, I will take care of them, we will eat ramen noodles and sausage and macaroni and cheese. I will not take food stamps because of pride, which now is food stamps. But back then, oh, job strike.
Oh, did you miss to read the thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
Took a half a day off, so you got a job strike.
You had to meet with
To
the
go to the
program
scholarship thing.
counselor
Oh.
to apply for the scholarship.
My bad.
You missed half a day of work causing you a strike on your record at work.
your child's class is going on a field trip to the Natural History Museum. The trip costs $15. What do you want to do? Pay the money or don't pay?
okay.
Where's that $10 at?
That's why you keep it.
No. You're driving with your kid in the back seat when your car slips on a slick stretch of road and slides into a parked car, causing a big dent in the bumper and a broken taillight. What do you want to do? Pay the damage, $550, drive away.
I'm gonna use my insurance that I paid for.
We can't
Not
drive,
quite
clearly.
Like, you just paid for insurance, why are we
Yeah,
paying for the damage?
Well,
What if the
that's a
insurance
high
has
Deductible.
high
Yep,
deductible.
Mhm.
deductible. If you got $1,000
Mhm.
deductible, you're paying for all of it, and it doesn't even matter about your 100 a month.
When Shirley and I went through this, we disagreed about it.
Because, let's tell them why.
Because I said drive away. I'm looking at my budget and I'm seeing that I have $504. I'm driving away. I'll risk it.
At this point, with what my balance is at.
I would risk the criminal charge.
Okay, everybody, apparently we need to vote on this one.
Who would drive away?
Please turn around, Mr. Attorney. So, are we driving away?
I'm not driving away because I risk losing my driver's license, and now I risk
Can't
losing
get
my
you
job,
down.
and then I risk losing being able to take care of my child.
Okay, who's gonna pay $550? We only have $504. Well, there's like 4 of us, so 5.
Are we driving? Does that mean we're driving away?
We're driving away.
And
Away.
we're going to jail.
We're all going to jail.
And then you can come to the volunteer lawyer program and we'll help you get your license back.
We got it right there. One of your coworkers has gotten seriously ill because your company doesn't offer sick days. Everyone is contributing $20 to help her out. What do you want to do? Pitch in? Say you forgot your wallet.
All this thing taught me was that I was maybe a jerk.
Everyone is pitching in for a lottery pool. What do you want to do? Pay $10 to play? Don't play. I agree. Result, it may seem like a waste of money, but for people like you who have no 401k or a savings account, it can look like an investment in a better future. Yeah. You're walking into work when someone approaches you in the parking lot. They want to organize a union and push for better pay. What do you want to do? Talk to them or keep on walking?
Talk to them.
Okay, talk to them, hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And walk away, hands, because I can't divide the room. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
8. I think that was 8.
8, okay, 8 it is.
Oh,
We're walking
close.
away. Result, like you, many low-income workers would rather keep quiet than push for better working conditions because they don't want to risk their jobs. Which I get it. If you go on strike, you're not paid, and as you can see, one paycheck is gonna make or break this person.
We're already broken, we can't.
Exactly. We just broke the law driving away from a car. We definitely can't
I'm
afford.
not losing my job now.
Life throws curveballs, and so does a kid on your block. He shattered your window, and your landlord insists you pay $100 to fix it. What do you want to do? Pay to replace the window for $100? Buy some plastic to put over the broken window, $5? Get legal help.
I march over to that parent and say, you're
Can we pick option D, because I agree. But replace it, because you know, also at the same rate, like if you're not replacing the window, then if you don't have a landlord that's as understanding, you're also at risk of losing your house because of something you didn't even do. I'd pay to fix it.
I pay to fix it because your gas bill.
Could we just say
Safety
legal help and we made
reasons.
the neighbor pay for it?
Well, we could say we're paying for it, and then we'll go track down the neighbor.
That's what I would say, track down the neighbor.
Okay.
We'll consider that them paying it, because we went to
Yeah.
their house.
Even though it's coming out of our.
So we're paying to replace?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not gonna have that.
I know, we're not gonna have enough for rent, I don't think.
Well, we got another paycheck, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, it's the day rent's due, we get paid, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, your child has been invited to a birthday party, they need to bring a present, what do you wanna do? Buy the present for $10, send your kid without a present, keep your kid home from the party.
I keep my kid home.
Unfortunately, keep the kid home from the party.
Keep my kid
Go
home.
home.
That's a rough one.
I'm not gonna be trigger happy. Is that the one that, or is that the one we're going with?
Wait. Okay, buy the present. 1, 2, send your kid without 3, send your kid without a present.
Again, where is that $10? Buy your own present.
And keep your kid home.
Spend the $10 once.
That's true.
Keep your kid home wins it.
Okay.
That poor kid.
He got $10, he's fine.
Your child comes home in tears and threatens to stop eating lunch because other kids make fun of all the free lunch kids. What do you want to do? Add lunch money to your monthly budget, $3 a day. Risk them going hungry. You better go hungry.
They'll get hungry.
Yes, I agree.
Hungry and-
Sounds like something my parents did.
I was a free lunch kid and people made fun of me, but they made fun of the other 20 people who were too.
Yeah.
So risk them going hungry?
Yep. They'll get hungry.
Results, your child isn't the only one. Many children who qualify for free or reduced cost lunch choose to go hungry rather than face the stigma of being identified as poor. And just so everybody knows, if you weren't aware, nowadays all school lunches are free.
Yeah.
Unless you want a la carte stuff. You've been experiencing some sharp pains in your chest lately and your family has a history of heart problems. What do you want to do? Get it checked out for $80, ignore it.
How much was rent
What's
again?
really gonna happen?
Now imagine, you're probably a
35.
35-year-old person because you have a kid who knows how old. So, I don't know, at that age, I still thought I was invincible.
Pretty much.
So I don't think I would get it checked out for $80 when,
$80 is a lot.
yes.
It's a lot. You make $17 an hour, and then you have to take off money. You have to take off time to do a doctor.
Yep.
Take it in on it.
Okay, so hands for ignoring.
That's what's gonna happen.
Ignoring it we are. Result, that's a dangerous decision. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death for both men and women in the United States, killing 700,000 people each year.
Dang.
Your neighbor is moving and has offered to pay you $50 to help, but they reserve the truck during the time your kid will be starting in a school play. What do you want to do? Take the job, go see the play.
Man.
Go see the play.
I think I'm heartless.
Okay.
I'm with you, I would take the job.
Somebody can record it.
Take the job. Take the job it is.
Oh, okay.
I say go see the play too.
I think we need the money for rent.
You'll miss the play, but that $50 will make a difference, which is a big reason parents with low income tend to be less involved in their children's schooling and extracurricular activities. That's a very good point. Without warning, your landlord has raised your rent effective immediately. We all know that's false. When you argue that increase is illegal, you're told if you don't like it, you can move out. What do you want to do? Pay it, $150, find somewhere else to live.
Why isn't legal services on here? Because, yeah, that's one place it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pretend that there's, you know, the end of the lease and there was 30-day notice. So,
Okay.
$150, do you stay or do you move?
Well, I think the argument that it's illegal is that they didn't give you 30 days.
But these are the two options.
So we're changing the facts.
Find somewhere else to live, you gotta pay deposit, utilities.
Find somewhere else to live, you gotta pay deposit, you have to catch all your
Because you're not gonna
utilities
get
up.
your security deposit back from this.
Right.
Yeah,
And even if you do get your security deposit back, it's after you've already moved out and moved in your new place.
Yeah, it's gonna be 30 or
Pay it?
5 days anyway.
Okay, pay it.
We don't have any money left for that. We're gonna get
Oh my
evicted
gosh,
anyway.
rent is
The flu has been going around and it just hit your house. Your child is running a fever and has the chills, but you're supposed to be at work. What do you want to do? Stay home from work, send them to school sick, leave them home alone.
We're leaving them home alone.
I'd leave them home alone. Are we arguing still that the child can make their own ramen?
Yeah.
Alright,
If you can make your ramen, you can stay home. Yep.
Okay, who says leave them home alone?
All right.
Okay, I'm not even gonna ask. See, I would be, lost my job because I lose moving money. Now you know why a recent study found that parents in Baltimore, Maryland were more likely to leave a sick child home alone all day than parents in Honduras. I don't say that. You made it through the month with $673, but rent's due tomorrow. Give $10 to help
This
someone
is the
living
end of it.
spend. Oh, okay.
This is
So-
the end of it.
We're evicted after 1 month.
We're not necessarily evicted, we're just behind on rent.
Well,
Unless payday's coming too.
Yeah,
payday should be coming the
Yeah.
next day.
Yeah.
I think so.
So I think we can make it.
We just gotta get that payment turned in right on time.
Another $300, or is it another $150 on top of that because they've raised the rent immediately?
I think you're
It did take out the
We
150,
just
but
got the place.
yeah.
So 673 plus $300 check, that's $973 plus.
This is when your tenant's coming to you saying, I'll have you the money, I get paid tomorrow.
Yep, and they're the day before the rent's due, and they didn't know until the day before that they were like, I don't have it all.
So that was just, we wanted to do that exercise just to kind of give you guys an idea. Obviously, it's not, I would hope that not everyone's life is every single day for 30 days something bad happens, but there are situations and circumstances every single day that people have to make choices financially about. Like we were talking with the car, I think that's probably one of the most common ones is, you know, they run into an issue with their car and they choose to fix it, and by choosing to fix it, they lose the money to pay rent. Okay, so our next section that we're gonna do, Colin, what would you do? So we have a list of hypotheticals of just situations with different tenants that we're gonna go through, and we just want your feedback on how would you handle this situation? What would you do? So we'll go ahead and
Question
start.
before we go on.
Yes.
Is that on a website that what you?
You can
Yes.
Google it.
Yep, all you have to Google is just spent game. That's what I Googled to pull it up.
Okay.
And then you can,
Cause I do some stuff with Anthus, and that would be something good to have
Yeah.
in the high school senior.
There's
Yeah.
actually other ones that are more fine-tuned for specific things. I think Vincent Village had one once that I thought was phenomenal. The questions that they asked and the answers and how hard you really had to make decisions. Where some of these I think were obvious, those ones were very much a, oh crap.
Thank you.
all right. First one.
Your tenant comes to you on the 15th of the month and tells you that they just lost their job. They will not be able to pay next month's rent. This is the first time they will be behind on rent. You're willing to give them more time to get it paid. What kind of conversation can you have with your tenant to work on a solution? What do? You just say okay, or do you?
I asked if they have any prospects.
As far as employment,
As far as employment,
okay?
because, I mean, if you don't have a job, you gotta figure it out pretty fast if you're gonna recover.
Right,
Too far behind, you'll never make it.
right.
I usually offer them the resources of our, we're in St. Joe Township, so I tell them to start there. If they're going to need assistance, that way they don't have to worry about other things like food insecurity as well as they're looking for a job.
Okay, so we have one that said that she would ask about employment. We have another one that said that she would give them resources to try and compensate for rent, food, whatever they're not able to pay while they're job searching. Correct? Yes, and Jennifer has a microphone, so anybody else?
I would ask what they could pay, because the late fees is gonna be 10% of what's not paid. So I wanna bring that down, and then I asked for a pay date. And then now leading to the emergency rental assistance, or what is it, Wayne Township?
Yeah. Anything else?
Okay.
Yeah, I think those are all great. I think just having the conversation and saying, you know,
Yes.
what can you do?
Yeah.
What
How
are
do we
these
move
next
forward?
steps? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You go to the property to change the furnace filter and notice a few baseball-sized holes in the walls throughout the residence. Your tenant tells you that they were there when they moved in. No move-in inspection was completed. How would you address the situation?
That would never happen. No move inspection was completed. That's not even, I mean, that's not even a real question, is it?
I know a lot of landlords who do not do move inspections.
We take thorough move-in photos, we can hold them up, say this is what your property looked like. Who would, I don't know who would do that.
This one Andrew will appreciate. I will pull this from my law school professors. Go by the facts of the hypothetical. So assume that no move-in inspection was done. Even if you typically would do a move-in inspection, what would you do if one wasn't done?
Or the paperwork got lost, or a staff member got fired and there's a new one and you don't know where it went, or maybe they weren't the greatest employees, so maybe they didn't even complete one and you didn't realize they weren't doing it. Whatever the case may be, if you have no way to prove that they were not there when they moved in.
But they would end up with a move-out notice for as soon as their lease ended. Because you can't enforce damage that you can't document, so if we
Okay.
take a tenant to court, we're not gonna be able to win anyway, so,
Okay.
if I'm seeing holes and things I don't expect to be there, they're gonna get a notice to vacate pretty quickly, as soon as their contract is up.
Okay?
Would anyone else handle it differently?
I think depending where they're at with their lease, like if it's 2 months left, might be different, but if it's quite a ways away, I'd probably fix it, and then I would do another inspection, just to see, is this like an angry boyfriend that likes to punch the wall, or 3 months, or 6 months, or whatever the case may be. I just think I would keep a closer eye on those sort of things after fixing the holes.
I just know that we would never rent a house with holes in the walls,
Yeah,
and there's no way that they were there to begin with.
okay.
Keep getting the microphone, so you're not gonna use it.
I think I'm pretty loud anyway.
You go to the property to fix a clogged drain. When you arrive, you notice various housekeeping issues, including dirty dishes, stained carpeting, clothes piled over, heat vent, mouse droppings, unclean litter box, debris in the animal hairs, crumbs, etc. on the floor. What, if any of these issues, would you address with the tenant, and how?
Every single one of them housekeeping violation.
So you say every single one of them? What about dirty dishes? That's a normal.
If their drain's
Don't come to
clogged,
my
they're not
house
gonna be able to do the
Right.
I think necessarily I would just put everything all in one on a housekeeping violation. And then, you know, I do every 2 weeks. I'll follow up with a housekeeping, see if it's clean. Eventually they catch on. If they don't, 3 violations, and then it's an eviction.
So, but what would you do, if you came back and everything else was cleaned up but the dirty dishes?
I'd let them go.
I'd address the clothes over the heat vent first, because that's a safety issue,
Mhm.
because
Yes,
that's
it is,
part of
it's a
fire.
fire.
The other things, not everyone keeps house the same.
Mhm.
But if it's a health and safety issue, I would address it, like the mouse droppings is a health and safety issue in my opinion. But the fire hazard is the first one for me.
Agreed.
We've got a cat and mouse dropping, we've got a lazy cat.
Love that.
I do like the comment though that you're focusing on the safety issues and that
Yes.
you acknowledge that different people have different standards.
Yes.
I know I have dirty dishes in my sink right now. I know I don't do all of those things, but I'm also not expecting anybody to come do an inspection.
I have
right?
an uncleaned litter box and also animal hair and crumbs on my floor right now. And dirty dishes. Well, and that's why we just put uncleaned litter box, because that standard is kind of different per person, is what they see as an unclean litter box. All right, next one.
The neighbor next to your tenant complains to you about your tenant having loud music and lots of visitors at the property on a regular basis. The neighbor says that everyone in the neighborhood complains, but this is the first time you are hearing about it. Would you have a conversation with your tenant to address the complaint? If yes, what would that look like?
I would have a conversation with the tenant. I would have a conversation with the tenant just to let them know that, and not a specific neighbor, but the neighborhood is, talking about all of your loud noise. If you're going to have visitors, we need you to keep it down and be more respectful of the neighborhood, and then keep an eye on it. If we continue to get complaints, that tenant's lease would not be renewed.
So would that be a verbal conversation or a letter?
It would be a verbal conversation.
Okay.
And noted in their file.
Yeah.
And noted in the file, okay. Anyone else?
I usually have a 3-strike policy with that. I'll go and I'll talk to them verbally. I never say where the complaint came from because like that says, sometimes it's just that I have this exact situation right now every weekend. It's just the one guy that complains, nobody else does. So I had to go knock on his door last weekend. This weekend he'll get a written notice. And if he gets to a second written notice, his lease gets terminated.
You go ahead and then I have a good comment on that.
I would do all that, and the first thing I would do, and I've done in the past, is ask the neighbor what the tenant said when the neighbor asked them to calm things down. They've never talked to him.
Good point. So we had a situation at court that a family, well, a mom and her 3 children, were being evicted out of an upstairs apartment because the downstairs renter complained, and she got warnings, She put on the application how old the kids were. They're 6 months, 1.5, and 3. So, to me, that seems like normal. That's what kids do. Why would you put kids in an upstairs apartment if you did not expect them to run around and jump and play and scream and cry and all the things that those age kids do? So, she won it, but still. Imagine how many people are told you need to move out because of these complaints and they never even make it to court to win the eviction. You arrive at your property to do some yard maintenance. You notice several boxes on the back porch and trash bags sitting next to the trash can outside. Your tenant just moved in with the last 30 days. Would you address this with the tenant? If yes, what would that look like?
I would probably comment, make sure that they know what day trash day is, and then just follow up. But just to have the conversation, hey, do you know what day trash day is, and this is how you get rid of those bigger items in the process.
Okay. Anyone?
You're racing. Who can get the mic there first?
I have the conversation as I move them in, just so we can prevent that. And if it does, I'm on it right from the get-go, just so they know what we expect.
Okay, and let us say this is an actual eviction. Someone was evicting a tenant and they complained about there being empty boxes on the back porch within the first week they moved in. and trash bags next to the trash can outside because the trash can was full. They just moved in. So they ended up losing that eviction as well, but it was a real scenario.
Well, and all this is to say, with these hypothetical scenarios, it's just to say that obviously not everything can be fixed with a conversation. We know that. A lot of times you'll have conversation after conversation after conversation and it will go nowhere. But sometimes there are conversations that you can have to try to prevent. Obviously, if that landlord had just talked to the tenant, potentially they could have avoided the whole court process, could have saved themselves money in that whole situation. So, okay, so this one is, what about you? So our goal with this series, with this last one especially, is that we want you guys to know that there are other landlords that are going through the same situation as you guys are, that you're not alone in the situations you deal with. Other landlords deal with it every single week, every single month as well. So we wanted to kind of get you guys talking. Do you have any current situations with your tenant that you aren't sure how to handle? Or do you have any difficult situations that you would like advice on, or you want to see how somebody else would handle it?
I have a difficult tenant. He's super nice. He's probably, he's about in his 50s, and he's probably got Asperger's or autism. He actually unplugged his refrigerator because he doesn't like the sound of it. But the only problem I have, his apartment's clean and neat. When he moved in, he was supposed to change over the gas and the electric. For some reason, we missed the gas. He's about $200 behind in gas bills right now. He pays his rent and late fees when he gets that far behind, but we need him to change over the gas. And due to his brain process, I'm having a hard time getting him to do that, because when I mention it to him, he gets upset and he gets, kind of angry and, well, if I had known that, well, he did know that, it's a part of the lease. I've had him apply with Brightpoint. I don't know what happened to that. I don't think it's gone anywhere, or if they'll pay the past due, but he still hasn't transferred the gas bill, so he gets behind about another $20 every month. He must be heating with electric. So it's not a lot. He's a good person. Something is wrong up there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to keep him, but I don't know how to fix this.
Does he have a guardian or a helper?
No. No, he's actually been in the military. Like, he has a military background, so he could get some VA benefits, he can get some help. He does not want it. He has pride problems.
Is it him that's actually not applying with NIPSCO? Because I deal with utilities at where I work, and I've been having a lot of problems with NIPSCO not actually changing over the utility to the tenant.
It's him. It is actually him. He admits that he hasn't changed it over and doesn't want to.
Jackie, do you know if there's a deposit attached to it?
I believe that there would be, but that's kind of, I think, why we had him apply with Brightpoint. But I don't know whether he hasn't followed up, and I actually followed up on his application, but it hadn't gone anywhere because he put it in paper, so I'm assuming they're out of money by now.
No, well, no, we're not. Oh, no.
Well, maybe you'll just fix it for me, because he's a good
Call me
tenant.
Monday, and we'll revisit it.
Very clean, and I mean, we would like to keep him, like I said, it's just, his little process is just a little bit off. He eats eggs, and they sit on the countertop, and he just goes every couple days and gets eggs in this. And we do a walkthrough. Very clean, very nice, but that refrigerator really bothers him.
In that instance, can he sign a release to Jackie to be the one to call NIPSCO to get the utility switched over, right?
Yeah, but in her sense, she's kind of like, I want him to do this.
Right,
Yes, absolutely.
but at least to get her off the hook for the bill and make it his responsibility,
Yes.
potentially that's a way to go if they'll allow that.
Have you done a letter that said, hey, you have to have it in your name by this date? I know you probably did in the beginning.
Yeah, we did, and let it go by
Yeah.
over time, and I shouldn't do that. I mean,
Right.
But
And when you try to, like, maybe he comes in and pay his rent, and you say, hey, let's do that, he gets agitated,
yes.
and then it becomes bigger, and it's
And
not a
then
good
he's
time.
angry because I didn't know I had to do that, but he did know. And
Right.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
That's the defense mechanism, is I didn't know.
Right, and that's just, it's
Call
just
me
his.
Monday, we're out tomorrow, but if we can revisit it, and I can probably involve the program manager and see if she can help.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Anybody else? We're here to problem solve.
I have a scenario for you guys. What if you have a tenant, tenant's great. Tenant has somebody that lives in the house, they're not on the lease. She wants this person out of the house. They refuse to leave. How do you evict someone? You don't know their name, you don't know. Do you evict someone, or you say that's your problem?
I use an unlawful tenant letter and cites, I use an unlawful tenant letter and cite specific Indiana statute, Indiana code, that says they have 3 days to vacate because they're not on the lease, or they can be removed by the police. But I will also tell you that when the police do get called in those scenarios, they say, no, it's civil. But at least at that point, by interacting with the police, you have an opportunity to get their name to do an eviction.
Ooh.
Good thing I would
That is sneaky.
I spend way too much time reading code.
Honorary paralegal right there.
I would have never thought about that either, but that's a good way to get their name. Because if you do, you know, what is it that you put on there? Usually it's Shirley Rourke and
All other occupants.
all other
Yeah.
occupants. Well, Becca doesn't have to show up for all other occupants because it doesn't have her name on it. So,
All unlawful tenant and cite the specific Indiana code. If anybody wants to call my office, I've got it there, I'll give it to you. It is very effective though.
and if you do have to evict, then you would just evict that unlawful tenant, not the tenant that
If that's
you're
the
happy
case.
for them to stay.
If it's one that's, if it's a good tenant, then yeah, they can stay. If not, then they broke the lease because they didn't follow where it says anybody that's gonna be there more than this amount of time has to register with the office.
Right. Well, she wants them to leave. You want them.
Yeah, if she wants them to leave, then yeah, I'll handle the eviction.
Okay, okay.
Anything else? Next question?
Man, you guys are good because I could. Yeah.
Well, that's okay, because the next question is, what about a past situation that you think you handled well? So what was maybe a situation with a difficult tenant that you had that you felt like something you did prevented that tenant maybe from facing eviction, or a conversation or assistance maybe stopped them before it got to that point?
I can say before COVID, or like when COVID first hit, I had two rental homes. I had two rental homes, so I basically called them and let them know that, hey, I know we could be facing some rough, if something happens with your jobs, please keep in contact with me, communicate with me. If you need to make weekly payments, if you need to make every other week payments, we'll figure it out. And actually, neither one of them ever got behind at all, just because of, I think, open communication and knowing that, you know, we understood that it could be hard.
Mhm.
So that was one thing I think we did well for that, but I only have two houses.
Did Shirley tap you in?
Yeah, she tapped me.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Angia Dukes, and I work for Fort Wayne Housing Authority, and I run all of our assisted housing programs, including our rental assistant programs that specifically focus on serving the homeless, and I also run our HCV program. I do have a question.
What's HCV?
Housing Choice Voucher Program. So, we have a unique position at the Housing Authority that we're both a landlord too, so we get that side of it. Unfortunately, we do sometimes have to evict our tenants. And what makes it so hard for us is because on the flip side of that, we're an affordable housing provider. So sometimes we have to navigate a space, and it's real small and slippery all year round, no matter what the weather's like. And we have to be able to represent the interest of our tenants, our own personal interest, and the interest of those who have entrusted our agency to be over public dollars, right? I have a question I just want to pose to the landlords. How many of you guys find it difficult, and just let's be honest, okay, to navigate a space where there's tension? Meaning that you want your money, it's fair what you want. You agreed that we would have this exchange. I'll give you a wonderful place to live. I'll take care of the property. It'll be a great place for your family. And then you're just waiting for them to bring their rent. You made an agreement. So when you run into situations where you have a tenant, and let's just assume that this is a tenant that has not abused the relationship or your kindness or your grace, that this is really just fallen on hard times like some of our scenarios, and they come into the office. How many of you really feel equipped to deal with that level of tension that could be provoked, and knowing that you could be directly affected? I want to hear that.
Okay, I do, because I deal with that a lot where I'm at. But by the same token, I don't have all the resources that a lot of people in this room have because I'm not inside city limits. So our resources are more limited, but that's why I come to these things to learn as much as I can every chance I get. I try to talk with the resident and help them get to the bottom of, okay, where do you need help? I invited Wellspring on Wheels to come to my parking lot once a month. That helps my residents. I do any little thing that I can to help them through. So, like, we don't do the choice vouchers. We don't have that availability. Literally, all we have to start with is the trustee. So I make sure I've got all of their contact information. I've got printouts that I give to them. And if I know of places that are hiring, if they did lose their job, like we talked about earlier, I'll recommend them to those places. I will have whatever resources available to them because, again, we're not inside city limits, so we have a little bit more limited resources for them. But just making sure that they have that information at their fingertips as easily as I do, that has helped a lot. And if I need to fax the paperwork for them, email it for them, I do that, just because it makes it easier for everybody.
Okay. So she has shared that having access to resources to refer her tenants to helps to alleviate that stress, right? And that tension that can exist. And it's not unusual that it would exist, right? How many of you guys have a system in place? A system, that means that no matter who the tenant is, no matter what the situation is, you try to uniformly follow the same steps with those tenants, providing them with that type of service, where if they do report struggling with paying their rent, you go into an automatic mode where you say, okay, these are the resources that I can offer you or give you information, and let's check back in about 3 to 5 business days to see how that happened. How many of you guys do that on a regular basis? Coming to you. Share with us, please.
I just created a document about resources, and so it's in print, and I can hand it to them. And then we go through it, and I find, much like your solutions, you got great solutions, by the way. Yeah, and so I do that, and I find communication is paramount to solving that problem, and being very involved immediately with the resident helps a lot. And it lets them know that you care and that you're a part of their partnership, and that you're gonna walk that with them as much as you possibly can.
Okay. I am so excited to hear you say that. What we're attempting to do with the Everyone Home initiative, we want our landlords, who are businessmen and women, right? We want to help shift you from understanding that there is a business model that you need to uphold to a higher place, and that is your stakeholder, right? That means that these are families that we're serving. We know that there should be an exchange, right? Who else would just be in the business of real estate if there wasn't some kind of profit that you can make? We get it. But the reason why the federal government, at the federal level, state level, and the county level, have all decided that we do need to provide support and resources and extend them to our landlords. Even if it doesn't come directly to you, it'll come directly to you through the residents accessing those services. So what we will hope to do, and what we hope we've done with this whole series, is to let you know and inform you that there are resources available. And the more that we stay connected, and we just launched our website at the Everyone Home website, there will be so many resources embedded in that website that will automatically connect you to those resources where you can operate as a stakeholder with your land, with your tenants, and continue to get the support that you need from your entire community. That's city, that's federal, that's state, that's county, all the way down. So I am glad to hear that you guys are really actively thinking about ways that you can help keep these families housed. So with that being said, did you want to close us out, Jennifer?
I do. I'm working on my technology skills because I'm a little older than our Gen Zer.
I am barely Gen Z. Cusp of Gen Z.
All right. So as Angia gave me the perfect lead-in, but thank you all for being here today. I'm Jennifer Atkowski-Smith. I work with Everyone Home, which is a citywide initiative. So I'm sorry that you're outside officially the city limits of Fort Wayne, but we're trying to work together collaboratively across the community on how can we address housing and homelessness is an issue. And Fort Wayne is not alone in dealing with this, but we are trying to inch our way forward to looking at some solutions. So in the last week or two, we have launched our website. It's live. It's been in the works for a long time. I'm excited to finally have it here. I've been working on lots of information. But if you go to the website, it's everyonehomefw.org. We have a tab on here for you guys. So we have a landlord resource. So if you look on this page, and I'm going to try to navigate so that you can see it as well. Here's some information. So just some different things. Our partners like Angie at Fort Wayne Housing Authority, would benefit if we have more landlords willing to accept those housing choice vouchers. Different information, right? We had the legal panel to help you understand that a well-written lease makes it easier to enforce the various guidelines and things like that. So we have some things to know about being a landlord in Indiana and keeping things legal, as smooth and clear expectations for both you and for the tenant. Are some different, like I said, some links here, some resources. Please note that anything that might have a law firm's name underneath it was good content, but I'm not trying to sell you a product. Other things, so Metro, this Fair Housing is Metro's brochure. If you missed that session, there's more information there. We are recording each of these sessions that we have had, and eventually there will be a link on this website to those various recordings. Fort Wayne Housing Authority, again, the benefits of becoming a voucher. And then also the group that helped put this together said, you know what, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to help continue to support you? So if you have a question as a landlord, keeping in mind, we are not legal advice, but we have some knowledge of the system. Like today's question about tough conversations in different scenarios, if you come to our website and post a question through this link, it will come to a group of us so that we can use the various background and experience that we have to help guide you in some direction, because we want to keep our doors open to you in providing continued support, because we want to invest that, the better relationships you can build with your tenants, because we know things are tough out there right now. But we also, by supporting you and providing education and information like this, then we hope that makes smoother processes on the side for the tenant as well. There is other information on here. So you mentioned resources. Some of these are going to be a little more broad than just Fort Wayne specific. So some of these here as well. So again, for community members, for residents, and I require a mouse to navigate a computer, so this whole touchpad thing is not my friend. But down here, right, so we've got people who are in the room today, Just Neighbors, VLP, Fort Wayne Housing Authority is in here a couple different times, Bright Point, information is also linked on here about that. So know that this is here, know that we want to continue to be a resource to you. And for those of you who have expressed interest, and maybe just for anyone, I will request at some point some more feedback, because we want to know what's meaningful assistance to you so that we can work together through some of the tough spots, towards creating, smoother systems across the community and ways just to help get through the current housing crisis that so many of our communities are facing. So with that, we will go ahead and end our session today once Becca has something more to share. So just kidding, we're close.
We can turn these off.
Yeah.
If you did attend all 4 sessions, we do have some certificates for you at the table that you checked in on. We want to thank you guys for coming to all these sessions. We've enjoyed it. So this is something very new that we tried to do. And so if you guys have any suggestions, we're going to send out a survey, an email survey for if there's topics you guys want to see covered. We want to do this every year, I think, is the plan. So we'd like to cover new topics if there's anything you guys want to see. So thank you again, and we will. Thank you. Thank you.